Welcome along to week 1 of our Yamas challenge, and we're looking at Ahimsa and exploring non-violence in our life, in ourselves as well. So non-violence is the traditional translation, but it also, a more positive spin might be kindness, or at least gentle, or compassion. And really, we need to explore this in ourself first. The Dalai Lama, in his wisdom, said, world peace begins with inner peace. And I know when I teach this to teacher training students, I'll always say, we often say things to ourselves that we would never dream of saying to anyone, let alone someone we love. So it's a really important place for us to start. And we could literally unpack Ahimsa for a year and really explore it in our own lives. But for the first few days at least, I'll get you to really explore it within yourself, the inner landscape, and maybe you've got an inner critic who's very loud, or maybe you're, judge yourself, or you have self-loathing or self-hate, blaming yourself, tearing yourself down, picking all the faults about you when you look in the mirror. It's a huge one that we are often our harshest critic and so harsh on ourselves. So this is where the first step of Ahimsa is to really look at how we can be kind to ourselves. And maybe this is too much of a leap for some of us who have deep self-loathing. I know I haven't always been kind to myself. I've often had some self-loathing, and really, who does it benefit? Who does all your self-loathing benefit? Really benefits no one. So to make the leap towards being kind to yourself, to have compassion for yourself, maybe that's too far. I remember a teacher of mine once said, when you're working with a depressed person, to try and get them to be happy, it's too much. It's too much of a leap. And so it may be that you just need to get them to being okay. And with this, to step out of deep self-loathing and maybe even low self-worth that might be tied with that it might be too much of a leap to just go and be kind to yourself. I'm not talking about, going on a shopping spree, treat yourself, or anything like that. I'm talking about the inner thoughts. What is your inner dialogue about yourself? And how can you make that, maybe that kindness is a too big a leap. So maybe it's just acceptance. Maybe looking in the mirror and accepting things as they are, maybe accepting yourself as you are. That could be the first beautiful, warm embrace towards yourself. I know for me, this has just been a huge experiment and a wonderful teaching. And many of you know I'm joining dance classes at the moment, and the teacher says, make it jiggle. And when do you ever get told that? You get told, there's a cream, you can do this and wear Spanx and do all of that. You're not supposed to let it jiggle. And then the teacher's going, make it jiggle. It's very liberating, and that warm acceptance of the body, and then this celebration that comes when you truly embrace moving from that acceptance into kindness, loving kindness towards yourself. Because really, this is a game changer. How you treat yourself, you are teaching others how to treat you. So the way that you treat yourself, you are instructing others, this is how to treat me. And so as you pick yourself up and maybe dust yourself off and are more kind to yourself, then maybe you'll open yourself to kindness around as well. And this is an absolutely huge leap. So I hope you can join in on that. The other thing is that sometimes for some people, when they're used to beating themselves up, that they can start a challenge like this and just then get into a little loop and go, I'm thinking those bad thoughts again. I'm so bad at this, and it gets into this vicious spiral. So I like to talk about these party popper moments. All the yamas are, remember, or postures are an awareness tool. How can I wake up? How can I step out of my sleepiness? How can I step out of my habituation? And so I think of them more as these party popper moments. I'm an emoji user, and so rather than, and I love, the party popper, but then it came out with the little whistle and the party hat. So celebrate, every time you realize, I'm beating myself up. It's not beat yourself up more, it's wow, I noticed. What a revelation. You're looking in the mirror, picking yourself apart. It's Ahimsa. I'm practicing acceptance and being kind. That's a party popper moment. And if it's just enough to have the party popper waking up moments, but if you can then install maybe shift it to kindness. What do you like about yourself? Is there something good? Can you find some good to celebrate? What are you celebrating? So this is a huge topic, and I know that perhaps you can journal, certainly, but it's in life, as you're driving, as you're interacting with people, as you're by yourself. You need to start to be aware. This is self-study, that you're going to start to notice the quality of your thoughts and any harm that you are doing from your thinking towards yourself in particular first. World peace begins with inner peace. So can you do that? And the litmus test, I guess, for me is, would I say this little thing that I'm thinking about myself, would I say that to another person? Would I say it out loud? Would I dare to say that out loud? Would I say it to another person? And I guess that's the litmus test as to whether it's violent or not. If you would be embarrassed to say that to someone else, or you think that it would be harmful to say to someone else, then it's harmful for you as well. And I also just like to, it's a little bit woo-woo, but the messages from water that Dr. Emoto created, he did the experiments with the water and then taped negative words, hate, anger, and then he taped the words. He actually typed out the words and taped it onto a jar full of water. Look it up, it's pretty fascinating. And then taped the words love and gratitude to water, and and that we are over 70% water, and so as we're thinking these thoughts about ourselves, harmful thoughts toward ourselves, negative thoughts toward ourselves, then we are absorbing that. So go and look at the images in Google And Dr. Emoto is the Messages in Water, and check out the stark difference between the positive images versus, or words, versus the negative ones, and remembering that we are water. So just carrying this understanding with you, and remember party popper moments. So it's not an opportunity for you to get down on yourself again, but rather, woo, yes, I did it. I realized, I woke up, I noticed that I was being harsh on myself. And, you know, whatever you need to do, give yourself a little cuddle or go cuddle someone else. Well, step one. I know that's big, and we haven't even got into the food that we put into our body, the the skincare that we use, the overconsumption, overeating, over buying things. We haven't talked about the planet and the harm and the abuse that we are doing to the planet. We are parenting and relations, and we've got so much more to cover, but I just wanted to start with that. Dalai Lama said we need to start within, so go and enjoy that. Well, enjoy. Good on you for doing the tough inner work and for showing up for this. Love to you, and you take care, and I'll see you in a couple of days, and then we'll get into more about the outer world and how we can look at harming or non-harm and kindness in the outer world as well. Hugs.